Oh, if you're Nancy Mace, you are having a rough few days. First, she went on to George Stephonopolous and was embarrassed for being a sexual assault survivor and endorsing a rapist for president. And then she tried to go on to Fox News to try to recover from that embarrassment. And the interview couldn't even get started because of technical difficulties.
And you've endorsed Donald Trump for president. Judges and two separate juries have found him liable for rape and for defaming the victim of that rape. How do you square your endorsement of Donald Trump with the testimony we just saw?
Well, I will tell you, I was raped at the age of 16. And any rape victim will tell you, I've lived for 30 years with an incredible amount of shame over being raped. I didn't come forward because of that judgment and shame that I felt. And it's a shame that you will never feel, George. And I'm not going to sit here on your show and be asked a question meant to shame me about another potential rape victim. I'm not gonna do that.
It's actually not about shaming you. It's a question about Donald Trump.
No, you are shaming me.
You've endorsed Donald Trump for president.
Right.
Donald Trump has been found liable for rape by a jury. Donald Trump has been found liable for defaming the victim of that rape by a jury. It's been affirmed by a judge.
It was not a criminal court case, number one. Number two, I live with shame. And you're asking me a question about my political choices, trying to shame me as a rape victim, and I find it disgusting. And quite frankly, E. Jean Carroll's comments when she did get the judgment, joking about what she was going to buy, it makes it harder for women to come forward when they make a mockery out of rape, when they joke about it.
Doesn't it make it harder for women to come forward when they are defamed by
It makes it harder when other women joke about it, and she's joked about it. I find it offensive. And I also find it offensive that you're trying to shame me with this question.
I'm not trying to shame you
at
all. In fact,
I have dealt with this for 30 years. You know how hard it was to tell my story 5 years ago when they were doing a fetal heartbeat bill and there were no exceptions for rape, incest, or rape or incest in there? I had to tell my story because no other woman was coming forward. No rape victims were represented. And you're trying to shame me this morning.
I'm just asking.
And I find it offensive, and this is why women won't come forward.
Women won't come forward because they're defamed by those who perpetrate rape. Donald Trump
they are judged and they're shamed, and you're trying to shame me this morning. I think it's disgusting.
I'm not shaming you at all. I
told my story. It took me 25 years to tell my story. I was judged for it. I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
First woman, Nancy Mace, back, and you were able to hear those comments. What's your reaction?
Well, I'm sorry, I missed that last part of the comments just now.
Okay, so we had one of the hosts on a competing network say that it is the policy of the Biden administration to allow as many migrants to come across the border in order to change the political dynamics. And
it is.
Okay.
It is. And what they want to do, Harris, what they want to do is they want them to vote in our elections. We've seen municipalities and towns around the country want to have illegal immigrants vote in elections. Also, what many people don't know is that when they're doing the census every 2 years, they base congressional districts based off of population, including the population of illegal immigrants. So we don't ask that question or filter for illegal immigrants when we are drawing lines for congressional districts. And they do, I believe, want to change the face of our country by importing all of these illegal immigrants vis-a-vis our southern border.
So I was going to allude to this earlier. I'm trying to get my mind around what the president is trying to do. But did we lose her again? Okay. Are you with me? Yeah. All right. We've tried. If we can, we'll bring her back in the program, but we're going to move forward now.
Nancy Mace may have been done a favor there by having the audio cut out, because it seems as though these Republicans really like to make mistakes, get embarrassed when their feet are held to the fire, and then they try to just double down on those mistakes, and it only ends up hurting them. That's what years of Donald Trump has done. Katie Britt just did it the other day. State of the Union response, caught lying, went on to Fox News to try to respond or double down on her lies, and was embarrassed yet again. And this is a big problem for the Republican Party, right? When you've got the two women who you handpicked as like your most respectful women to go out there and be in front of the cameras and to give interviews and to give the State of the Union response, and they turn out to be just as deplorable as your trashiest members, as your Lauren Boeberts, as your Marjorie Taylor Greens, you have a big problem as a party. You have a big problem with women. And that's largely because the Republican Party has completely lost its way. Donald Trump is their leader. His goose is cooked. It was cooked after 1/6. It's cooked after the 91 indictments. Some of them in the Republican Party know it, but most don't. But there's like this sense that they can feel it. And so you've got people who are like blinded by that thirst for power and their greed and the money. You've got people like Nancy Mace. They're down to lie. And then when they're pushed back against, it's fight back and then it's never back down. And it's use all your resources to try to push back against that. But in Nancy Mace's case, it didn't really go as planned with the Fox News interview. So be on the lookout. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because Nancy Mace will undoubtedly be in front of cameras within the next 24 to 48 hours.